Good morning, everyone. I'm Bilal Malik. You're watching BM TechNet, learning every day. Okay, today we'll discuss about the high availability, how it works in Azure. So the whole concept of it is that your ability for your service to remain available by ensuring there is no single point of failure and to ensure a certain level of performance. So here is the diagram, the architectural diagram representing the high availability setup. So idea behind is that if you want to run redundant version of your server to secure yourself in case of anything happens to any single server, traffic then could always be routed to another available server. Like this, your server application will remain live and you cannot like without any disruptions. So having a multiple server is good, but it's even better if you can have them in a different data centers. Like here you can see we have replication of different of the same server in a different zones. So as we all know that availability zone is a data center, physical data center. So we having three different servers in three different zones serving for the same purpose. So um, if anything happened to any single data set due to maybe any cause of any network issue, maybe a routing issue, or maybe a power issue, or any other disaster issue, so we can overcome for the we can overcome that situation by having this availability in place. So running a workload across multiple availability zones ensure that if one or two availability zones become unavailable, your service or application remains available. So how would you distribute the traffic among these servers? Here comes the role of Azure load balancers to in play. Here you can see the logo. It represents the load balancer in Azure. So what it does, it equally distributes the traffic between all these servers, between all these data centers, availability zones. And if a data center or server become unavailable, like let's say if this server goes down, right? Uh, then a load balancer will sense itself and it will only route the traffic between these available two uh, servers or availability zones. That way you can achieve the high availability. And this is the whole concept of it. So now fault tolerance. So your ability for your service to ensure that there is no single point of failure and preventing a chance of failure. So it's more or less relate to the high availability, what we just discussed. But when the word fault comes in, that can refer to be an as a failover. So it's sort of thing where we can securing something for uh, failure. So failover is when you have a plan to shift the traffic to a redundant system in case of any primary system fails. So I have a little diagram here which depicts the same picture and the logic that for instance we have this DB server here which is primary, and we also have configured a secondary server which is in standby, right? This one is primary and active, this is secondary but in standby. But the beauty is the data is constantly simultaneously at the same time be syncing with the secondary server. Means if any update has been pushed on this primary database, it's always going to be immediately replicated onto the secondary server. So that way your data replication is up to the mark. So a common example here is having a copy of secondary of your database where all ongoing changes are synced. The secondary system is not in use until a failover occurs and it becomes the primary, right? So let's suppose due to any instance this primary uh, database or server goes down, and with in the trigger of that action the failover occurs, and this secondary, the standby database takes over the role and announce itself as a primary server and start serving, um, being a prime in a primary role. So how it happens on the back end, like how we can use a utility that is called Azure Traffic Manager. which is represented with this given symbol, which is a DNS-based traffic balancers to fail over from failing primary system to a standby secondary system. Uh, we can also use the load balancer, but for just a difference, like I have described about the load balancer in the previous, so I just choose this traffic manager in this example. So this way you can achieve the fault tolerance, and this is the difference between the high availability and the fault tolerance. Thank you for watching this video. Hope you liked it. If yes, then click the like button and subscribe for our upcoming videos. You can also drop your suggestions and remarks in the comments below. Thank you.